Welcome to the Overlady Reads, the show where I, the Overlord, have a wife, the Overlady, and she reads. And this week, I also reads, and we're reading Rhythm of War Part 4. That is what we've read, and that is what we reads. How did you find Rhythm of War Part 4, Lucy?
Better than your grammar lessons.
Excellent. We have a set now. We made a set. Check this out. We got books for days. Heck yeah. Sorry, I have books for days.
I made fucking set, you cunt.
Hi everyone. Lucy is refusing to record the video until I acknowledge the fact that she made the set pretty much all to herself. I didn't help at all.
You did nothing.
Excuse me, I put Rhythm of War there when it arrived in the mail, right? I helped. We got Rhythm of War. We finally got Rhythm of War. We don't have The Way of King's Leatherbounds yet, but we will one day. They'll turn up eventually. So, Rhythm of War Part 4. Epigraphs.
Yeah.
We'll start with those.
Cool. So, it reveals halfway through who the epigraphs are. For the first, couple, I was like, could it be Hoyd? Could it be,
I could have seen them being from Hoyd, yeah. Either way.
Turns out halfway through that they are from Kalak.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
I liked these. I think there was a couple of things revealed. It reveals that Yezrian's proper dead because they captured him, but they didn't capture the things that keep them alive. They didn't capture his honor-pactiness. Yeah. So he just, faded away to, I wonder if that was a bad way to die. No, because it probably would have been, similar to how people die on Scandriel in Secret History, you know, where they kind of just faded away into the beyond. He probably just faded away. Probably wasn't painful or anything like that. Probably. Who knows? What else was there? There was the snarky bit, which was oh, they finally realised they could trap us in gems. It only took them 7,000 years.
I know.
Which was some good quality snark.
Beautiful.
But yeah, and then it just kind of goes into a bit more of that, hey, yeah, being a herald is horrible because you've got thousands of years worth of stuff going on in your head. And is it him who basically said that they're basically more spren than men at this point? Because they've just been around for so long as cognitive shadows. They're just... Yeah. Okay, cool. Shall we go on to the chapters? Because we did the interludes last time, so we'll go on to the chapters. And now?
Yeah. You can talk first. You're welcome.
So the first chapter of Part 4 is a flashback with Venli, and she's kind of... Has she taken on a form Has she put Ulim in her Gen Heart and taken on a form?
Yes.
Yes. And
that's why she's now fused with him.
Okay. And he basically sits there convincing her that, hey, we need to be invited to their palace. We need to be invited to their land, because if we get invited to their lands, it will show all the singers that how powerful humans are, because they need to know how powerful humans are so that we can unite against them, because otherwise they're just not going to believe us. They just don't believe them. The humans inhabit 99% of the world, and the singers...
They can't be that big.
Yeah, they can't be that big. And so, they need to go there to be convinced to unite against them. I think Ulim also says he has, agents in the palace, working with him, which is going to... It's going to be Axendwith, isn't it? Because Axendwith gave Venli the gem with Ulim in it.
Yeah.
Then we quickly... That's a pretty short chapter. Then we switch back to Irithiru and modern times, where Venli and Relaine are helping out with helping Cal's parents out, and they Venli has managed to smuggle some maps to them. I can't remember if it was Venli or Relaine.
It was Relaine.
Relaine
is good boy.
Relaine is a good boy. And Relaine has smuggled some maps so that they can to the Cal's parents, so that they can just in case they need them, because Venli wants to escape. This is also where we're introduced to the fact that some of the Irithiru inhabitants have started putting a shash glyph on their forehead.
They're dangerous.
They're dangerous because they are honouring Stormblessed, who continues to fight.
No. He is dead.
Oh, do they think he's dead?
Yeah, because the Fused immediately started a rumour that they killed him.
Oh, because he jumped off the tower and they didn't know he was still alive in the tower.
And they're like, humans are stupid. They'll just believe that he's dead. And then the humans are like, nah, mate.
They're like, nah, it's Kaladin Stormblast, you know.
Kaladin can't die.
Yeah, that man is...
not capable of it.
Yeah.
Until part 5.
Until part 5. Wow.
I've still not read it.
Lucy's still not read part 5. Oh, yes. No. Spoilers for part 4 of Rhythm of War. We won't be talking about part 5 stuff because Lucy hasn't read part 5. So also don't be putting spoilers in the comments. Saw you guys in the last video. Don't be putting part 5 spoilers in the comments because Lucy reads all of them.
You're welcome. So then we swap over to the Shadesmar team. We're going back to them because we didn't get any Shadesmar in the last part. It opens with Adeline, who is now in...
prison?
No, what's the tower called?
Oh,
what's the tower called?
Lasting Integrity.
Too many towers.
Oh my god, it's like 2. There's like 2.
There's like 5 at this point. So Adeline is now in Lasting Integrity as a prisoner, and he's climbed to the top of the wall to look out into Shadesmar. And there is a big old gathering of Deadeyes happening.
Yes.
Turns out that since they've arrived, Deadeyes have just been turning up.
Yeah.
In their numbers.
Mm-hmm.
I wondered if potentially they're able to communicate with each other, like, telepathically.
Okay.
Because Spren can talk to each other, can't they?
Yes.
So I wonder if Deadeyes have that ability, but they can't talk to live Spren anymore.
Okay.
I wondered if, like, they'd all sort of sensed Maya getting stronger, and they've all sort of, like, congregated to her.
I believe they are congregating because of what's happening with Maya and Adeline. Yeah.
And, like, super excited for this.
Yeah.
Because I desperately want Adeline to leave Shadesmar with, like, an army of Deadeyes that he now knows how to restore, and they're gonna, like, come back and join them.
Yeah.
Like, so I think that'd be quite cute.
That would be cool.
So, like, this is his, like, little Deadeyes army camping out, waiting for him to go to them.
I can't remember. I thought I was just very confused about what was happening, or why it was they were gathering in there. I thought maybe people were, like, gathering on the physical realm side with shard blades. I don't know. Yeah. In terms of communicating with each other, like, you know how Radiants, when they touch a Spren blade, they can just hear screaming?
Yeah.
I always assumed... My assumption is that they're not screaming because they've been summoned or they've been touched. They're just always screaming.
Yeah.
So if they can communicate with each other, it's just a chorus of screams.
Man, I really want that to be the case.
Yeah.
So, that's Adeline, and he's talking to one of the Honor Spren. At this point, I can't remember who, and I've not written any names down.
That's cool.
So then he goes to go and prepare for his upcoming trial.
Is this is he talking to an Honor Spren, or is he talking to Blended? Because I like Blended.
Blended has not been introduced yet.
Cool.
So then we cut to Shallan, who is also in Lasting Integrity?
Yes.
Lasting Integrity with Adeline, because he took her prisoner as well.
Yeah.
So she is currently trying to track down the guy that Braize wants her to look for. And after questioning every Honor Spren, all of the leads have come up blank, apart from... So she's now on her last one.
Yeah.
I think Formless comes out a little bit more at some point.
Yeah, Formless, like...
Because my notes don't entirely make sense.
Cool.
However, my current running theory at this point was that Shallan is just another persona.
Yes.
And that Formless is the real Shallan, that, like, after killing her mum, got suppressed.
Yeah.
And, like, she created someone to take over that could cope with killing her mum.
Yeah. Because
obviously Shallan's, like, quite cold and quite just, yeah, we can do that. So I figured that Formless was the real her, and she's been pretending to be Shallan since killing her mum.
I have always hated the Shallan is just another persona theory.
I don't care.
I know, and So, because of this, I was always very against that interpretation. I've always said this is all just Shallan, and Veil and Radiant are Shallan creating personas to protect herself.
Yeah.
And so I was always sticking with Formless being another persona which hadn't come to fruition yet. It was
But
still
Shallan was created to protect herself.
Oh my god, it's just... When a person creates themselves, that's just called growing up. It's just a normal process that humans go through.
No.
No?
No. So she's currently stalking out the last potential person.
Yes.
He's a recluse.
Yes, he is.
Who lives by himself in a little apartment. He leaves his apartment once a week.
Yep.
He doesn't eat. He doesn't drink. He doesn't do anything that you would expect a human to do.
Yep. What's his name, Lucy?
16.
Good old 16.
Chandra.
I can't say.
Right.
Because, yeah. Go for your Chandra theory.
I'm going with Chandra because he doesn't need human things.
Mm-hmm.
He looks Shin, I believe.
Yep.
At which point... Yeah, he's from another world. He obviously doesn't eat or drink. And Chandra are all numbered.
The generations are numbered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if he's from the 16th generation, he would be 16.
Yes, but we know there isn't been any more generations.
How?
Because Era 2 of Mistborn happens in between books Stormlight 5 and 6, and Milan and Tensoon talk about how they haven't created any more Chandra. This is one of our main complaints of Era 2, was that there was no more Chandra.
Era 2 doesn't exist.
Oh my god, Era 2 definitely exists. It's right there!
No, it doesn't. That's a lie. But if... Who's in charge now? Of
Harmony.
the Chandra.
Harmony.
Of
Sazed.
the Chandra.
Yeah, Sazed.
No, Caesar doesn't exist.
He's right there! Is it? No, these are all Stormlight characters,
they're
aren't
all
they?
Stormlight,
Okay.
so he doesn't exist.
Britannica, we need some Mistborn bookmarks.
You can't just demand people make you...
Britannica! Make me art!
You've got to commission her. So, I think that potentially Harmony has made a couple of 16s, but they're not in Scadrial.
Okay.
He made them specifically
Yeah.
to go and check out other planets, because something's coming to Scadrial that he wants to get information about.
Okay. Because I believe they were on the 6th or 7th generation in Mistborn. It might even have only been the 4th or 5th. So you're saying he would have created 10 generations of Mistborn in the 300 years, and Milan and Tensoon and Guy with the tan suit, brown suit, man in the brown suit. I can't remember the name of that Chandra. The one that has the suit that changes colour. Just didn't know about them.
No.
Okay. I
Who's Chandra?
have zero theories because we are given no
Then you can't tell me I'm wrong.
to no information, and the fact he goes for a walk every 16 days. How can be a Chandra? Explain that.
So he goes on a walk every 16 days to go and communicate with Harmony and check in with Harmony.
Okay. And it's just a coincidence that it's 16 days.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 16.
Anyway, I have no theories. He could be a dragon. He could be something we've not seen before. What else? He could be a sleepless. I just don't know. He could be a human with this magic system we haven't seen before. He could just
Whimsy!
He could be
Magic! Magic Whimsy!
He goes out every 16 days to fly a kite to regenerate himself.
That might be how Whimsy works.
Maybe.
I need Whimsy.
I have seen people theorize he's a shard, but I feel like even if he was a shard, just as a human, in human form, he's just come down from on high, wherever the shards be, and he might be a shard.
Very whimsical, though.
Yeah, a whimsy person would come skipping out with rainbows behind them and bunny rabbits behind every footstep.
Wearing cat ears.
Wearing cat ears. So yeah.
Maybe have a tail,
Maybe have a tail. You know.
Why not?
Why not?
But a lizard tail.
A lizard tail. Cat ears and a lizard tail. Hitting all those tick boxes.
Oh, I just want the Whimsy Planet.
I know you on the Whimsy Planet.
So bad.
I think we will get Whimsy Planet. I think
I really do. Want
Brandon
it.
wouldn't have introduced like that concept if it wasn't going to be at least a little bit explored.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I just want Whimsy Planet or like thingy book 2, Warbreaker book 2.
Yes. Those are your two biggest ones.
Yeah.
Wishes. Yeah.
Like I don't want any more Mistborn. I'm very much done with Mistborn. Stormlight, I've got to wait 3 years for. So in between that time, he can give me a Whimsy Planet.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't need any of the other stories to progress.
I think you're going to be disappointed.
I don't think I will be. So, while she's stalking out 16's house, waiting for him to come out on the 16th day to go for his little kite flying walk,
Yep.
she is confronted by Patton, who has brought a Deadeye's Patton for her to meet. I wonder why. I didn't see this coming at all.
We'll get there.
So she immediately like retreats,
Yeah.
and I think it's Vale comes forward and is like, no, you know she can't handle this. And like they get into a big argument, and 16 happens to come out at that time.
Yeah.
He gets startled and he runs away.
Yeah.
And they've now completely blown their cover, and they're not going to be able to get any information on 16. But like she ran up and like she grabbed him.
Yeah, to like see what he looked like.
Yeah, and it's not him.
It's not.
He doesn't look anything like the person that she's looking for. He just happens to be a human.
Yes.
And to all honest, spread, all humans look the same.
Exactly. Well, she I don't think she knows what he looks like. Mraize just said you'll know him when you see him.
No.
Like...
He's given her a description.
Oh, did you get a slight description?
Yeah, like shin man, balding hair.
Oh, okay.
So she's got a description, and this guy doesn't look anything like that.
Yeah.
So she now knows that it's not him. And that's the end of that one.
I think my theory on the Deadeye is I hadn't connected the Deadeye that they saw at the shop in the town with the Deadeye that Patton brought.
Oh.
I hadn't connected those because...
Did you think he was just making friends?
Yeah, I just was like, who is this?
Nonchalant, I found one!
I'd started to suspect it was a Deadeye she'd killed as a child.
Yeah.
I'd started to suspect that at that point because... But, like, after I finished the book, I was like, yeah, what was up with that Deadeye in the village? Like, I hadn't connected the Deadeye in the village to the Deadeye that is in Jasmine at all, yeah.
Mate, I got that within seconds.
Yeah, because I assumed I assumed she came in, like, the group of Deadeyes that were gathering around the base of the tower or something like that.
I get that.
Yeah.
Deadeyes.
Good old Deadeyes. So then we switch back to Navani, who the sibling is not talking to her anymore because of what happened. I mean, understandably, Raboniel was listening in all their conversations. So she's in a funk because she realised that what she's been doing is not good. But she kind of says, I've got nothing else going for me, so I'm just going to get on with my experiments. So she just gets on with experimenting. She continues with what she's been doing so far. And I believe she has a conversation with Raboniel, who gives her the idea of trying to hear the rhythms. So what she does is she creates like an arm, which kind of gets the wristwatch thing that she has. And she just puts like raw gems in it and just puts them up against her skin and just tries to listen and hear the rhythms of Roshar. And she can.
It's cute.
It is. It's interesting that like she can do it. And I wonder if this is because of is this anything anyone can do?
I reckon if somebody tried hard enough they could.
You reckon this is something anyone can do?
I think somebody pointed out in the comments of one of the videos recently that when Odium when Dalinar first opens the perpendicularity, she mentions that she can hear some sort of strange noise.
Yeah.
So it seems that she sort of connected with Roshar in Oathbringer.
Yeah.
So whether maybe her connection's growing stronger, or maybe it's because she's trying harder to listen to it. But yeah, it seems like she can.
But anyway, so she can hear the rhythms of Roshar, and there's this really lovely scene where her and Raboniel, they hold hands and they sing the rhythms together, and they sing the rhythm of honor and the rhythm of odium, and they do this with gems whilst trying to get the
I was going to say they sort of change the tones of them.
Yes, and they
by
kind of
changing the tones, it sort of makes them interlink.
Yeah, like they get we don't know anything about music, so we're just gonna keep saying we're gonna keep using tone and rhythm interchangeably, and we're just gonna
You're just gonna deal with
we're
it.
just gonna have to deal with it. And yeah, so they kind of bring those rhythms closer together until they are matching, and it creates Warlight and the rhythm of war.
They said the book name.
They got the book name. Again. And so they create the Rhythm of War, and they create Warlight. And I really like this, that I believe she says she has to have a human and a singer duo, which is why this has never been discovered before. Because they are at war. The singers and humans are at war, and so Odium and Honor are at war, and they can only create it together by finding the rhythm that exists between them.
Yeah.
And so this isn't something one of them could create on their own.
No.
And like this is the first time in history it seems that humans, like a human scientist, has worked with a singer scientist. And it's really cool. I really like it. It's actually a beautiful scene. I really like this whole scene, the way that he describes them like getting closer and closer together until it snaps and bam.
Bodies.
Yeah.
I wonder how long the friendship lasts.
Mm-hmm. This was also, at this point, Raboniel's disappointed because she's like, oh, I thought they would destroy each other. And I was hoping they'd destroy each other because she believes something that was like an anti-honor was used to kill honor. And so she was hoping that she could use Voidlight to, destroy honor's investiture. She's kind of disappointed that she couldn't. But she said that Navani is now in her debt because... she's in debt to Navani because Navani did something that she's been trying to do for thousands of years and has never been able to do herself because she's a singer. She's not a human and a singer. Yeah.
It's cool.
You had a theory about something, didn't you?
Yeah. I think it's Navani mentions that with those black spheres, Gavilar must have been looking for a way to kill Odium.
Yes.
Because she believes that, it's okay. He was clearly trying to work with the fuse to try and find a way to kill Odium and save us all. No, I think that Gavilar was looking for a way to make himself into a god. Because he made himself king of Alefka.
Yeah.
And I think he was trying to work out a way to become a god. Because what's higher than a king? Because at this point, he had met the Heralds.
Yes.
He knew it was possible.
Yeah.
He knew that there was something higher than a Herald.
Yeah.
So I think originally he sort of set out to become like a modern Herald.
Yeah.
And then he realised there was a higher being, and he was like, no, that's where I'm getting to.
Not only did he know the Heralds, but I don't know if you know this, he was starting to see the visions. Like, the Stormfather had started sending Gavilar Bondsmith visions.
Cool.
Yeah, that's why...
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why Gavilar started getting obsessed with the Way of King's book. That's why Gavilar started...
That makes sense.
Because he'd start to receive the visions. I don't think he'd been receiving them for very long.
Yeah.
But yeah, because he started hearing the unite them.
Man, Stormfather has terrible tricks.
I mean, at one point he started sending them to just like a random guy. There's like one of the death rattles is just some random guy ranting about how he was seeing visions in the storm, but he's like a cobbler or like he's like a random. I'm like, stop! Why did you send it to him?
Stormfather, really?
Yeah, it was like 6 years before Gavilar's death or something like that.
Nah, he wanted an alcoholic murderer.
You wanted the alcoholic murderers,
and he got one. It's all good.
After this, we get a Venli flashback, and this is the one where Venli's like sneaking through the palace during the assassination of Gavilar, and I really liked this scene. And they're meeting up with Axenduith, but she's left the planet because she'd been discovered by someone of her own kind, which I'm going to assume is the Terrace house steward from the prologue, who also had the red bird who died. His name's Gary, and he died.
Finally, an easy name.
There you go,
dead.
an easy name to remember.
And he's dead.
He's dead now. And so it seems that Gary had discovered her, so she left the planet. So it seems he works for another organisation that's opposed to whatever organisation Axenduith belongs to, which I guess might be the Ghostbloods. It's hard to tell.
I mean, I'm still going with her being a Kandra.
You still think she's a Kandra?
Someone has to be a Kandra.
Oh my.
And until I get told who the Kandra is, everyone is a Kandra.
My problem is that Kandra are really good at fitting in, so if someone's obviously not fitting in, then I don't think they're a Kandra, because a Kandra wouldn't make those mistakes.
Look, Kandras have had thousands of years of not really existing anymore.
Yeah.
He's clearly forgotten his ways.
Okay.
Sorry, she.
Yeah. At one point, so she's trying to, so after they discover this, they go to leave the palace, and Ulim just kind of like runs off ahead, and Venli's like left up Creme Creek without a paddle. And then she gets discovered by Nail! And then there's the best scene where Ulim turns up to find Venli, and then Nail's all like, "Hello, Ulim. Nice to see you after all this time." And Ulim's like, hi, Nail.
Yeah, but Nail kind of ruins it for himself a bit, because he's like, I know we were careful not to leave that bridge open.
Yeah. Like,
Someone
how are
must
you here?
Yeah, and then he's like, tell me how, and Venli's like, well, you left the bridge open.
Yeah, obviously. You didn't do what you think you just said you did.
So he starts saying things that he probably shouldn't have been saying.
I really like the fact that he knows Ulim. I kind of want more of this dynamic, that all of the Spren and the Heralds and all of the Fused, they all know each other because they've been fighting for thousands of years. They all know each other.
Well, they'd all have been trapped with each other at points.
Yeah, and so...
what else are you going to do to get to know each other?
Yeah, and so yeah, I find it very entertaining that, like, they do that.
Yeah, I think it's quite cute.
It is.
You
had a theory, because there was a line in there that you heard.
So Nail mentions a guy from Shin who has a sword that's currently in the palace that they can hire. He can't hire him because that goes against his oaths.
Yeah.
And he also can't take the sword because touching the sword is a big no-no for him.
Yes, he's sworn to not touch that sword, isn't he? I think something like that.
So I had a theory that touching the sword sends them back.
Yeah.
Because they all abandon their swords at the end.
Hmm.
And it seems strange that you wouldn't keep it with you.
Hmm.
And the fact that he won't touch somebody else's, I had a feeling that, like, potentially it might send him back
to Braize. Hmm.
Yeah.
Which would be pointless now, because obviously the Fused can go through the Everstorm. They don't need to go through the Heralds anymore.
Or he becomes too powerful if he touches the sword.
That's my theory. I think the Heralds swore to never touch each other's swords, because if they use the swords, they get
double powers.
They get the double powers. They get the powers of their own powers plus the powers of the other Herald. But having too many surges and the overuse of surges is what destroyed Ashen.
Yeah.
So they are very, very aware of what happened at Ashen. So they are very, very aware that they cannot hold too much power. So.
But then I would have assumed that, obviously, with the Fused and the Void Bringers coming back, you would kind of want to destroy this outbreak before it becomes an outbreak.
I think.
So, like, now he knows that Ulam's there.
Yeah.
You'd kind of want to kill him before he can
bring the rest of it. I think for them, it's more important that they don't destroy the planet than it is that they defeat the Fused.
Nah.
Because otherwise they would have done it thousands of years ago. But they... I mean, they believe they could win. They thought they could win, so...
Yeah. That's fair. So then we go back to Lasting Integrity.
You can say this one.
I know, but I can't remember it. Where Shallan is talking through her cube to Braize, like, yo, your man's not here.
Yeah.
Sent me here on a wild ghost chase. And he's like, no, just give it a minute, he'll turn up. He says the Honor Spren believes stories of the Stone of 10 Dawns.
Yes.
So, as someone that's not read Dawn Shard...
Yeah.
In any way, shape or form.
Yeah.
Not even, like, looked at the mildest of spoilers.
Yeah.
So if I'm wrong, just leave me alone. Also, please don't spoil Dawn Shard in the comments. I thought that the Dawn Shard...
Was the Stone of 10 Dawns?
Yeah.
Okay.
Before it got shattered by Hoyd.
Okay.
Thank you. I don't know, Hoyd has mentioned having shards of the Dawnstone before. In one of the letters, he's mentioned having shards.
He was bearer of the first gem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this, I think, is the first gem.
Got you. Okay.
I think he then shattered it.
Okay.
I think he's still got a couple of them shards up his sleeve just in case.
Yeah.
Because he's not going to leave something magical alone.
Mm.
And I think the other shards got scattered.
Mm.
Um,
And then maybe the Stone of the Ten Dawns is one of them?
No, I think the Stone of the Ten Dawns is what it was
Oh,
called.
the first gem.
Yeah.
And the Stone of the Ten Dawns are the same thing.
Yeah, and then it
Got
got
you.
shattered into 10.
Got you.
So I think it was the Dawnstone, and then it became the Stone of 10 when it was shattered. 'cause
Got
it
you.
was shattered into 10 pieces.
Okay.
And then she notices a commotion over by the gate.
There's a ruckus.
The High Judge has arrived.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's a balding man.
it is a
middle-aged.
man that matches the description from Braize.
Yeah.
And upon meeting him, we discover that he's not technically a man.
No.
He's kind of a spren,
Yes.
which is what the honest spren have been sort of alluding to without saying anything because they didn't want
Mm-hmm. To give it away.
to give it away. But hello, Clack,
And it's Clack. How you doing,
our
buddy?
Herald boy.
Herald boy. Herald of the... I'm going to get this wrong. Herald of the Truth Watchers.
I don't know. I don't keep track of my heralds.
I do. Yezrian, yeah, because Yezrian's Windrunners, Ishar's Bondsmiths. I'm sure he's Truth Watchers. If he's not Truth Watchers, then don't correct me in the comments. So yeah, and then Shallan realizes she's got to kill one of the heralds. The people quite literally defined by the fact that they don't get killed.
It's alright though, because he's given her a special knife to do it with.
Yes. This is revealed later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they think that the gemstone is capturing the heralds. They
Yeah.
don't know it's actually
Gonna
killing
kill
them.
Yeah.
So he clearly wants to capture one to sort of like absorb its powers into himself.
Yeah. I think they kind of want to just tap it for information as well.
Yeah, but they've already got a couple for information.
With Braize doesn't.
I know they're not being helpful, but
Yeah.
they have got some. And I'm sure if Braize went to go and find Nail would happily
I think Nail would kill Braize. I don't think Nail would be a fan of Braize.
who would win in a fight?
My money would be on Nail.
Yeah, but Braize has the special blades.
What blades?
No,
he doesn't. Oh, he has the Herald killing
ones.
knives. Yes, but then Nail is also a Herald who has a shard blade and most of his faculties.
But
Kinda, yeah.
he'd try and do things honourably.
True.
Because he is very about following the rules and blah blah blah. And
Yeah.
Braize wouldn't care about doing things unfairly.
Yeah.
And therefore I reckon that Braize would do something dirty and like win the fight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then we go back to
Oh, okay,
and
yeah.
I'm allowed to call it this.
You're allowed to call it now,
because
yeah.
the stones have said that that's what the mountain was called before it became the tower.
Yeah.
So we go back to
Yeah.
and Relaine is in the washroom collecting linens.
Hmm.
And all of the humans are whispering about him because they think that he was spying on them this whole time and
Yeah.
he can't be trusted and he's a bad
Guy.
So he's like listening to them making up crap about him. So he goes over and he's like, I can't remember what he says, but he shuts them up.
I thought he doesn't. Yes, because he's like, yeah, it's like the washwomen, and he's
Yeah.
like, I'm here washing clothes as well. We gotta wash clothes. Like, I'm just.
He
I'm like,
finds
you
a way
guys-
to shut them up.
Yeah.
And then he takes the clean linens to the
Place where they're keeping all the radiance.
yeah.
Yeah.
The radiant holding
The
cell.
radiant holding room. Yeah.
And he goes into the little curtained out room to talk to Hesina and Lirin. Hesina is checking out the maps and she talks about wishing that there was a way to get them to her son
Yeah.
Kaladin.
Oh, well done for remembering his name. It's a hard to remember name.
I know. Well, he doesn't come up much. But they're like, well, we don't know where he is. All that we know is that he might still be alive, he might not be. And Lyran's like, don't care.
Yeah.
He's not my son, blah, blah, blah. And then he quickly moves to the curtain, so they, like, hide the maps. And Lyran's like, no, we're not in trouble, it's fine. I just think I recognise that guy that's helping to clean the Radiance up.
Okay.
So then R'laine looks out the curtain, and it's Dobby.
Yeah.
Little Dobby's there.
Yeah, David's found a way to, like, volunteer for that, so he's found them.
Yeah. So R'laine goes over to him and he's like, Dobby, what are you doing here? I'm so glad you're alive. And Dobby's like, please, my master Kaladin, he needs help. And R'laine's like, wow, you talk, Dobby. Here's some clothing. You are
Not
free.
a house elf. Oh my god.
He may as well be. So yeah, my only sort of thing from this chapter. Where's Auradon?
I'm pretty sure he's, like, with them. He's in
Yeah.
the room with them, but he was, like, put to bed. He's, like, in a cupboard somewhere.
Yeah, but they've not mentioned him once.
I'm certain.
They've not mentioned him
There
since
was
he
a
got put
mention.
in this pen.
Yeah, I'm certain there's a
At
mention
which point
of there
has he
being,
been
like,
taken?
a cupboard in the room, and he's just,
No,
like,
no,
in the
because
cupboard.
that was their house. They hid him in the cupboard when the fuse came for
okay,
him.
got you.
But since moving to this medical tent, they've not mentioned him.
I assume he's sitting around doing kid things,
Baby things. He's a baby.
doing suckling child things. I don't know, you know. It's because he's the guy in the suckling child death rattle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
where did that come
Yeah.
But like,
From the books.
at the same time,
Yeah.
where is he? Could have done with a mention of him sleeping quietly in the corner.
Yeah.
Or playing with a strange-looking Kremlin, you know?
Yeah.
Because right now, we
There's-
don't know
there's
his
nothing.
fate.
And then the next chapter is The Dog and the Dragon. Or as Kaladin calls it, The What and the What. So this is by far my favourite story. I'm not even going to say what happens in this chapter. You know what happens in this chapter. This is like one of the most memorable chapters in the book. And so this...
Are we skipping yet another Hoyd story?
No, we're not skipping it this time. And so, yeah, Kaladin wakes up on Braize, and Braize is like crazy and black and dark and the storm going on, and then Hoyd like makes a circle of light around him, and it's all, and then he tells this story, and then Design is there. Never mind, we are talking about the stuff that's in this chapter. Design is there, and Design is a literal monster. She's having a great time like playing a flute when she doesn't have a mouth, which is hilarious.
Oh, I forgot about Design.
Did you
I
forget?
love Design.
Design is great.
Design is the best spren.
She's like, but she doesn't have a mouth, so it's like, how is she playing this flute?
I also love how Hoyd gets the snarkiest spren.
Oh my god,
Ugh.
they could not be more perfect for each other.
I know, I love them.
And I really hope she's okay, because Spren, you know how Hoyd's in Era 2, which is
Yeah.
after Stormlight 5,
That doesn't exist.
so he must have left Roshar, but if he's left Roshar, did Design come with him, or did he leave her behind, or horribly did something happen to her? I really hope nothing happened to her and she's just nicely waiting on Roshar for him.
Well, Era 2 doesn't exist, so we're fine.
Okay, and so Design is my favourite Spren ever, and is perfect for Hoyd, and is a literal monster. And so she plays the flute while he tells the story of a dragon and a dog, and the dog like tries to become a dragon, and it's really sweet and it's really nice, and it ends with him failing to become a dragon, but because of all the skills he learned, he still was able to save like a kid in a well, I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was able to save lots of people.
And he was able to save lots of people. And it's funny, and it's heartbreaking, and it ends with, like, the dog being like, I might not be a dragon, but I'm a pretty happy dog. And I'm like, hi, I'm gonna cry now, because it's such a sweet story. I really like it.
And Hoyd is the dog.
And, okay, and now we're gonna jump into theories. My theory is that this is just a nice parable. This isn't like The Girl Looked Up, which has some reflection in real life, real Roshar life, but you have a theory.
Yeah. So my theory is that Hoyd wanted to be this almighty powerful being, but he kind of realised that that wasn't for him, and he was happy with what he had.
Okay.
And that although he wasn't a real dragon, so although he's not a shard, he's better off for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I think Hoyd is a dog.
You reckon Hoyd is,
I
Hoyd
think
is
he's a
that
literal dog.
He's that dog.
I think he is a literal dog.
Oh, right. You think he's actually a dog?
You're welcome.
There you go.
I think he was looking up at
The dragons.
No. What's the frost one? Do we have a name for it?
What, Frost?
Yeah.
Frost.
Oh, I think Frost was the dragon.
Oh, you reckon? Okay, Frost is the dragon. He's the dog. So after the dragon and the dog, which might be my favorite chapter in the book. Oh wait, no, the last chapter in the book is my favorite chapter in the book. And
Spoilers.
I know, right? And so it's a flashback. The next chapter is a flashback for Eshonai. And this is after they've returned to the Shattered Plains after Gavilar's been murdered. But the humans haven't turned up yet. And so she's just trying to work out what they're going to do. She's back in war form. She's on a run with... Is she with friends? They're going for
there's 3 of them. There's her mate and Relaine.
Cool. And they're going...
Wheeling.
Third wheeling. And they're jumping from plateau to plateau.
And Relaine's taking the bridges across because he's still sensible and cautious.
Oh, okay.
Love Relaine.
Relaine is good. And
not as much as Renarin.
Her mate is questioning why they had to do this and did they have to kill the Gavilar. And she's quite confident that no, they had to because he was trying to bring their gods back. And Venli knew that this is a bad thing. We then switch over to Venli, who is talking with a couple of her friends of Scholar Form. They've got 5 Stormspren, but they are very, very hard to get. And they need a better way of capturing more of them because the current way they're doing it is not scalable. So she's like, cool, we're just going to get a couple of my friends to make the switch, and then we're going to find a way of summoning more, and we know what that is.
Yeah, they need to find a way to capture Stormspren.
Yes, they need to find a way to capture Stormspren. Yeah. Oh, and then she ends it being I will save my people, which is
interesting.
An interesting way of putting it.
So then we go to Braize and Shallan. They're talking through the cube, and she's like, "Mate, I'm not gonna kill a Herald. What is wrong with you?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Look, just open the cube." And she's like, "You told me not to." And he's like, "Just open the cube."
Now you can.
And then he's like, "Here is knife. Knife kills Kalak. No, knife captures Kalak.
Yeah.
Life is good for everyone. He'll be fine." And she's like, "Okay, I don't want to.
But okay."
And he's like, "Look, just think about it this way. He's not human. He's been alive so long now that he is more spren than human."
He's the one that says they're more spren than human. Yeah, cool.
So it's not like it's gonna be a bad thing. You're just capturing a spren hundreds of people have done before.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, and let's think about it logically. If he's captured in a knife, and there is somebody with light weaving abilities that could take his place and become the judge in your husband's trial.
Wouldn't that be fancy?
Yeah. Think about it logically, Shallan. And she's like, "Damn, you make a good point."
I like that Braize always gives Shallan a reason to do, a personal reason to do the things he asks her to do. Yeah.
So then we cut to Adeline, who approaches Kalak.
Is it either? It's what either.
And he accepts the trial, and he is hoping that they will show honour, to which he is told honour is dead.
Yeah.
And he asks...
They'll see what they can do.
No, they won't, that's the thing.
The whole thing, yeah.
So he accepts all of this, and he asks for trial by witness.
Yep.
And his request is granted.
Yeah.
Because their trials are very long-winded and they involve a lot of rules and things.
Yeah.
So trial by witness is
the quickest one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the easiest one to train him for. So I look forward to that.
Yeah.
Should be good.
Should be good. So the next chapter is a very cool one, and I think you'll like this as well, because I remember something that while I was editing those videos. So this is the chapter where Venli is she goes to experiment with her powers, and the stone of which is the mountain that became Erethiru, is
Yay.
is talking to her, and it shows her what the single life looked like before, you know, with the songs and the little villages and little people running around. And it's like, you can have this again. You probably don't remember this, but I edited the video, so I remember this. Back in Oathbringer, there is a scene in the beginning of Oathbringer where Rhaenyra and Shallan are talking in one of the rooms in Etheru. And it was either Shallan or Rhaenyra who mentions that the stones have memories. And you were excited because you hoped that one of them would be able to tap into those memories and create like a light weaving of the memories of the stones. And it's not light weaving that does that, it's stone shaping that does that. And I'm like, how cool is that?
That is
how
cute.
cool is that?
I'm glad that came back.
Yeah, and I'm like that. I was like, oh, it's just been this has been mentioned. This was mentioned in the previous book that the stones remembered the things that came before.
So much crap that I don't even remember.
Honestly, I would not remember if it wasn't for the fact I edited the video.
Did you edit it out?
No, I left it in. Don't worry. Yeah, don't worry.
So I don't look stupid.
So you don't look stupid.
Yay.
Yeah, it makes a change. So after this scene, which I really liked because it was such a different interpretation of what I expected stone shaping to be, of what the Stonewoods could do. This was so a bit different. Oh, also, she hears a rhythm because a lot of people have been asking what would happen if cultivation. So obviously we have Warlight, which is odium and honor. People ask what happens if you have odium and cultivation, and Venli actually hears a rhythm between cultivation and odium.
Yeah.
And she says it sounds like freedom.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of like, is it the rhythm of freedom?
I don't know, but I'm okay with it.
Who knows?
I'm interested in her being... Because at the moment, like, Radiants are very, very different to what they used to be. Because with...
Yeah.
You've got Lift, who uses Lifelight.
Yes.
You've got Rhaenyra, who's got a corrupted Spren.
Yeah.
And we potentially might get some more corrupted Sprens. Hopefully.
Soon. Yeah.
You've got...
Dalinar has bonded the Stormfather and created something completely new.
You've got Venli,
who's a Singer Radiant.
Well, not only is she a Singer Radiant, but she's also got Void Light.
Yeah, she's also the
So at
Regal.
the moment, the Radiants we have are so different to the old Radiants.
Yeah.
That you can't... Like, yeah, you've got your traditional ones like your Kaladins and your Shallans.
Yeah.
But I'm so interested in what these new Radiants can do.
Yeah, you got so
because
many...
I am expecting their powers to be different.
Oh, okay.
Because obviously they're taking rhythms from elsewhere.
Yeah.
So Venli, although she's technically a Stonewood, she's got...
Sorry, she's a Will Shaper. Sorry, yeah. That was my bad.
Not only is she a Will Shaper...
Yeah.
But because she's using Odium and, like, Void Light...
Yeah.
Maybe she has different abilities to a normal Will Shaper.
Yeah.
And obviously Rhaenyra is different because he's got a corrupted version.
Yeah.
And Lift is different because she uses Lifelight.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see if their powers develop normally or whether they're going to get different abilities.
Yeah.
Because I'm so up for that.
Yes.
I really, really am up for that.
I was going to say, not only do we have all of that, we also have Shallan, who has something a little different, which we'll get to at the end of this part. So she goes to meet up with R'Laine and Cal's family. No, she meets with Leshry first, sorry.
Yeah.
So she goes to meet with
Her
Leshry.
secret meeting.
Her secret meeting with Leshry, but, like, Riboniel knows she's meeting with Leshry. Yeah. Everyone knows she's meeting with Leshry. And they talk about how the Pursuer has discovered Kaladin's family is being under the protection of Leshry and where they are. But Leshry's like, don't worry, they're under my protection, he won't do anything. But Venli kind of gets a bit more of a, we need to get moving. So she goes and meets up with, goes to the infirmary where Kaladin's family are. And I think R'Laine's there as well. And they finally make their plan on how to help Kaladin. And one of the steps they're going to do is she's going to save Lift. She tells them that, hey, I've got a shard blade, so I'm just going to go and cut her out of the jail. And they were like, cool, we'll leave that to you. Dabbid has a step in the plan, and like R'Laine has a step in the plan. Oh, Dabbid is distracting the guards whilst
she
Venli
cuts her free.
Well, Venli cuts
and R'Laine
her free.
is keeping guard.
Yes, and R'Laine is keeping guard. And so they go there, and she uses her stone shaping ability she uses her Surge of Cohesion to like move the rocks out of the way, turn them into like liquid, and like push them out of the way. And
but she does it in a way that it looks like they've been cut with a shard blade.
Yes.
So that if anybody sees, they might assume that Lift just cut her way out.
Yeah. And then Lift is all like, yo, that's crazy, dog. And Venli's like, please don't tell anyone that I moved the stone like it was liquid. And she's like, will do. And then they peace out.
Yeah.
That's the end. That's the end of that chapter.
Yeah.
And the next chapter is all about Navani putting together like her little traps and experimenting on things. So she makes some traps to, use against the fused when she needs them. And it's like putting them in boxes in the hallway. But she starts experimenting with trying to rejoin conjoined rubies, because you got the flame spren and she's trying to rejoin them together. To help with her experiments, Raboniel has actually managed to get her 2 of the Herald killing daggers.
Yeah.
And these are daggers which have
only 1.
I thought it was 2.
It becomes 2 after Raboniel
breaks
1.
Yes, after it breaks 1 they make it. Sorry, so she gets 1. And it's got like a line of radium up the center, which helps it convey the spren into the gem on the hilt. And Navani manages to use it to trap the flame spren that's in the conjoined fabrial. Do you want to talk about your wob?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I got my first ever wob.
Yes.
So I asked Brandon if radium could be used by a Mistborn, and he has said yes.
Yes.
But he won't say what power it gives yet.
Yeah, because you also got your first Raffo, because you asked, could the Mistborn burn it, and what power does it get? And you got a yes and a Raffo.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I'm very excited.
It's very exciting. Hopefully one day you'll be able to see him in real life and he can give you a Raffo card.
Would like to know what all of the other shard medals can do.
Yes.
Because now that's 2 shards that have got their own medal associated with them.
Yeah.
And so I want more medals and what they can do.
We've got another one as well. There is one in Era 2. There's the Trellium whoop spike that Palm had.
Era 2 doesn't exist. So yeah, really cool.
Yeah, well done on that. Dagger. Navani uses it to trap the flame spren that was in the conjoined fabric. Well, it would have been a void flame spren because of
I was going to say it traps 1.
Yes, traps half of it. Which conjoins the dagger and the gem. And is this the scene where they discover the force multiplication thing? Yes, and this is
the force exists.
The force exists. This is because the dagger is bigger, or the gem in the dagger is bigger than the gem that the other half is in. When you move the gem with the big gem a little bit, it moves the little gem a lot. And this is how we're going to scale up the airship. I can guarantee this is how it's going to get done. We're going to get like fabrial guns from this. We're going to get... This is how things will... This is the future of Roshar, is this force multiplication thing here.
Yeah, and it's really cool.
Yes, it's very cool.
I don't understand any of it, but it's really cool.
Yes. This is how you get railguns. This is railgun stuff right here. Like, yeah. And also, I believe this is also where Raboniel gives Navani some... It's not black sand, it's white sand, but it's black, and so she gives it to her, and it turns...
It's black sand that when is infused with investiture, it turns white.
Yes.
I wonder where the white sand comes from.
Mm-hmm. Would you like me to tell you, Lucy, anything about the white sand?
I'm assuming it's from white sand.
It's from white sand, yes.
Obviously.
So,
and that is where...
Yeah.
Chris is from?
That's where Chris is from, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I know stuff.
The way that magic works on the White Sand planet is there's like a lichen, like a bacteria that exists on all the sand, and it absorbs investiture from the sun. And then when they use their magic, they absorb the investiture from the sand around them, turning it black. And that's how they use them. That's how they use sand mastery.
Yeah.
Is it like they can control the sand?
I remember the Zeph story.
Oh, yes, I forgot you did actually read White Sand, but not really. Yes.
I had fun.
But yes, then this now is people have discovered that the black sand is actually more useful than the white sand because the black sand can be used to detect investiture.
Cool.
Yeah.
Something else could be used to detect investiture, can't
What's
it?
that?
I don't know. I thought there was something else.
There is a warning. There is a spren that the Screamers... There's a spren called the Screamers who detect investiture usage and scream. Yes, that's the spren that can do that. We didn't really know anything about them.
I think they scream.
It's the scream. I think they might be the Chaos Spren that I mentioned once, but I hate the double S in the Chaos Spren, and so I'm never going to mention them again.
So then we go to Dobby.
This is the David chapter!
He's being really cute. He's talking about his childhood, and he essentially talks about how he has a learning disability.
Yes.
And because of that, he was always treated stupid.
Yes.
And when he went into Bridge 4, it was the first time that people didn't see him like that.
Yeah.
And when he lost his ability to talk, people just treated him like an ordinary person.
Yeah.
And like he didn't feel different for the first time in his life.
Like they treated him like a mute, but they didn't treat him like an idiot. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
So then when he
was comfortable with speaking again,
he didn't want to.
He didn't want to, yeah.
Because people would have
That
caught on to the fact that he wasn't quite the same as them.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to be treated differently.
Yeah.
So he continued just being silent. And
Yeah.
it's really cute.
It's
and
very,
I love
very
Dobby.
sweet.
He's lovely.
Yeah.
So then they've all met up now that Lift is free, and they take Lift to Kaladin. Venley's not with them at this point. She's sort of gone back before anyone gets suspicious of her disappearance. But Relaine and Dobby take Lift to Kaladin. He's in a bad way.
Kaladin is in a bad way.
He is very, very messed up. Like, he is close to death.
Yeah.
Probably the closest that he's ever been ever before.
Yeah.
Lift uses a lot of light to fix him. And afterwards she's like, wow, I've never
had to use that much before.
Yeah. Even on Gorks, whose throat had been slit open and he was dead.
Yeah.
She hadn't had to use that much to fix someone before.
Yeah.
So that was quite cool.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's just his physical injuries that she's fixed.
I figured it was because of the suppressor. Fabrial was suppressing her powers, so she's like, I had to use so much more to help him.
So then, exhausted, she sits on the bed eating some stew, and she puts her hand on Tef's foot.
Yeah.
And she restores Tef.
I love the way that this scene plays out, because like
so good.
Cal wakes up and it's all like, oh man, thanks Lift, and then Tef like wakes up and is all like, hey guys, what's going on?
And she's like, oh, did you not want me to do this one as well?
Was I not supposed to wake him up as well, guys? Like, I assumed that's why I was here.
It's like Lift can now wake the Radiants. However, she has to infuse them regularly, otherwise they'll go back to sleep.
They pass out after like a couple of hours.
So this is really cool. So now they're like, well, we can take back the tower with this.
Yeah.
We know where there's a whole room of a buttload of Radiants that we can fix.
Yes.
And Dabby ends by saying that Kaladin had pulled him out of damnation.
Yes, time and again.
Yeah, and it felt good to return the act of heroism with a small one of his own.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, Dobby, I love you.
But this wasn't a small one, this was a big one. Yeah. This was a big important thing you did, Dabby.
Oh, he's so good. I love him. If anything bad happens to him, I will not be happy. And as much as I would very, very much like to make some death threats right now, I'm not going to do that. Because that's not a sensible thing to do.
Not right to do, guys.
But, oh boy, if anything happens to him...
I'm going to be very upset.
I'm going to be very mad. Those books behind me are getting burned.
So then after that, we got our next flashback, which is this is a pretty meh one. Eshonai is all in her shard plate. They've just got back from like a raid on human forces, and the humans are not stopping. It's not working. They are realizing they're going to have to move from the war camps to the center. Eshonai's in her full shard plate. She is their officially like their shard bearer leader at this point. Mm. But just as they get back from the raid, they discover their mother's missing, and so they go out looking for her, and she's found just like wandering the town. And I think
she's hit her head.
Yeah,
as well,
she hit her head, and she's bleeding. This is just not a nice thing the dementia does. So this is very sad. And so they take the mother home and they kind of sing her to sleep. And Eshonai and Venley, they have like a little nice moment together before Venley goes out and to try and trap more Storm Spren, because that's
tries
what she's...
to trap her first Storm Spren.
Sorry,
she hasn't been able to trap any yet.
She hasn't been able to trap any yet, but she goes out to try and find some Storm Spren.
Yeah, now she's determined because she's convinced that one can fix her mum.
Yes.
Trial day 1.
Trial day 1.
So, the Honest Spren are currently building a cell because they don't have a prison. So they're building a special cell that they're going to keep Adeline in forever.
Yep.
That's going to be all like glass walls and stuff, so everyone can come and look at him.
Yep.
Sounds lovely.
It's going to be featured publicly. This is going to be the thing people come to Lasting Integrity to see, the human that bears the sins of the Radiance from the Recreants.
Yeah. He then makes a point of saying, yo, I agree to come here and be tried on my merit and human as they currently are. At which point it's pointed out to him that he came into Lasting Integrity knowing that he was on trial for
the crime of the past Radiance.
Yeah. At which point he doesn't fight it because he's been told, no, just accept it.
Yeah.
It'll make life easier. So he does.
Yeah, one thing I liked was it didn't make sense to me what he was being tried for when he agreed to be tried in part 2, where he was like, I will bear the... You can try me for their crimes. And I was like, well, all he has to do is prove he's not them. And he's like, yeah, all I have to do is prove I'm not them. And Blended is like, no, they're gonna pin all those crimes on you, and you're gonna have to prove that they didn't do it somehow. And he's like, well, I can't do that because I'm not them. And yeah, I'm glad they established the characters are even like, this doesn't really make any sense, and this is incredibly biased against Adeline.
Yeah. So Amuna speaks first. She is the first witness to speak. There's 3 witnesses that are going to speak. And she's the one that cares for the Deadeyes in Lasting Integrity. And they've always set out to bring back as many Deadeyes as they can to care for them. And she's very, very cautious about the way they're cared for, and she makes sure they're well cared for. And she's been letting Adeline go and visit Maya every morning so they can do a Catan together.
Yeah.
And she speaks first, and she says that they should be held accountable because every single Honest Spren died during that.
Yeah.
Because every single Honest Spren bonded to a human.
Yeah.
Although,
Syl was the only one that didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, Syl was yeah.
Although the other orders, they only sent half their Spren out. So other orders have Spren that were alive at the time that have survived. The Honest Spren don't. The only one that they have is Syl, because she was grieving at the time because her Radiant had died quite recently. So Adeline counters this by making a point of being like, well, the Stormfather has bonded with my father, so he must be able to trust us again.
Yes.
Why can't you guys?
Yes.
And so a little bit of an argument erupts on this one. And she doesn't agree that they should go and bond again this time. And then Blender is the next...
Blended.
Blended.
It's not Blender.
Blended is the next Spren to bear witness. And she talks about bonding with the humans is unnatural because humans aren't native to Roshar. And therefore they shouldn't do it because it's not natural.
Yeah.
At which point Adeline's like, well, if you're not going to bond with us, then you're siding with Odium and you're letting Odium win.
Yeah.
And many, many people agree with him that they shouldn't be letting Odium win.
Yeah, understandably so. I think it's interesting that this is an Inkspren's perspective because I believe Yasna is the only Elsecaller.
Yeah.
So it seems that Ivory is the only Inkspren that's been like, hey, no, we should bond. So it's interesting to find out why the other Inkspren aren't into bonding humans.
Yeah. And then she asks him to promise that this time it will be different. Humans won't kill their Spren. At which point he's like, well, I can't make that promise because I can't guarantee because we don't know.
For all people. Yeah.
And obviously we don't know what will happen. And then the third witness arrives, and it is Notum.
Good old Notum.
Who the Honest Spren have clearly gone to and said, yo, if you are a witness to the crimes of the humans, we will pardon you for what you've done to us.
For letting the ancient daughter let go.
Yeah. So he comes forward, and it's quite clear that he's about to make up some lies. And Adeline's not having this.
Yeah.
So Adeline very, very clearly points out to him.
Calls him out.
Like, where is your honour? Be honourable. And at that point, he then says, honour's not dead because it lives in the heart of men.
Yes.
And oh boy, does that divide the room. There's angry people, there's people agreeing.
Yeah.
It is chaos.
Yes.
Notum gets dragged out. I don't know if we're ever going to meet him again.
Yeah.
He may have just been murdered on the spot. But Kalak is struggling at this point because he knows that's true. And chaos is ensuing.
Yeah.
And then Adeline approaches him as he's crouched down on the floor, and he's like, well, I think my first day's gone well.
Gone well, yeah.
And he's like, what do you mean? This is chaos. And he's like, well, the first one agreed that the Stormfather had bonded. The second one agreed that if you don't bond with humans, you're working with odium.
Yeah.
And now we've just had someone say that
Honor still lives.
Honor's in humans, and therefore Honor's friend should be bonded with us.
Yeah.
So I think it's gone well.
I think it's gone well.
It's an interesting take on things.
Yeah.
Because Hallboy, did not go well for him.
I would say it went pretty well. Better than it was when they were expecting it to go.
I don't know.
Sorry.
Then we cut to Shallan, who decided to climb a tree. She climbs all the way to the top and then pretends to fall and instead hits a stone against the ground and pretends that she's hit her head.
Yeah.
And Patton, who's now capable of flying, is like, oh no, she will die if she doesn't get Stormlight.
We must get her Stormlight.
Stormlight now.
For her wounds. She is fallen.
So the Honest Friend is not guarding her, just always happens to be nearby.
Yeah.
Takes her to the vault.
Yes.
Where they keep all of their perfect gemstones that are never going to lose Stormlight because they're perfectly cut. And they give her an emerald, I think?
Yes. Yeah.
And so she's got a done one up her sleeve.
Yeah.
Which she pretends to replace a full one with because she knocks some gems over.
Yeah.
So she hides a perfect one up her sleeve. She pretends that she accidentally drained a whole gemstone.
The Honor Spread is horrified because he's like, that was 10 years worth of Stormlight. You Radiants are so wasteful.
So they get really angry and she's like, okay, I'm leaving now. Bye.
Yeah. Like Stormlight is their currency, and she literally just unlike gems being their currency, the Stormlight is their currency. So she literally just stole a fortune from them.
Oh yeah. So now she has Stormlight.
But now she has Stormlight, and that's the important thing.
And I wonder what she's gonna do with that Stormlight. Definitely not impersonate a judge or anything.
This next scene is Venli trying to take on Storm's friends. It's a flashback.
She's trying to capture them.
So she's trying to capture the Storm's friend in the storm, and so she goes in the storm with some of her cut gems, and she's hunkering down the storm, being like, "What am I doing? I need this is insane." But she needs these Storm's friend to save her people. She believes, and this is the scene where in the darkness she kind of feels something above her, and she looks up, and in a flash of lightning, there's a chasm fiend standing over her, and she's like, "Oh, hi.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy, how you doing up there? Big old chasm fiend." And then it goes off and does its own thing. I really like chasm fiends. Chasm fiends are cool.
Yeah, they are adorable.
They are. They're big
lobster boys.
They're big lobster dogs, puppies. That's what they are.
No, that's axe hounds. Axe hounds are
Oh,
puppies.
the axe hounds are the puppies. Yes.
Yeah. They lobster boys.
But yeah, cool scene. This next chapter is a good one. This is one of the Navani kind of researching chapters. So she's, after discovering Warlight, she's convinced there's a way to do something to light to kill odium. And she's experimenting with the white sand. She's experimenting with the different lights and the different sounds and how the light reacts to the different sounds. And she's just in her work. She's like in that zone. You know that zone you get in when you're like really in your work? She gets in that zone. And we just get this montage of her experimenting with a bit of different things. And it cuts to her and Raboniel talking. And Raboniel mentions that the sand is from a different world. And Navani's like, there are other worlds? And Raboniel's like, yes, there's other planets. There is other places you can go. And Navani's like, can I go there? And Raboniel's like, you probably could, yes. I can't because I'm tied to this system, but you probably could. Spaceships. Well, it's quite funny. She says,
Shadesmaster.
How would I get there? Do I have to go through like the Everstorm? She's like, oh no, you wouldn't go through the physical realm. That's silly. Like, there's no way you can get there. I'd have no idea how long that takes.
Shadesmaster submarines.
Yes. But she actually mentions, this is where Raboniel mentions, they tried to fly the normal way to other planets, but the fuse would get up to a certain height and then the pressure would kill them because obviously there's no air. Yeah. And so, yeah, they died. And she's like, yeah, I have no idea how long it would take to get there. You could probably go through Shadesmar, but there's a storm protecting Braize. Because there's a storm protecting Braize, apparently. And yeah, so we just get lots of like cool off-worldy stuff here. But yeah, Raboniel's just kind of like, yeah, never visit Braize. It's a horrible place. It's nothing but rocks and winds and you know, crazy fused spread. So yeah, they do a couple more experiments. They get one of the storm forms to experiment with lightning to see if they could destroy investiture with lightning. And it made me laugh that they're using their first experiments with electricity instead of it being like batteries like on Earth. They're experimenting with lightning, which just destroys everything that they try and build. So they're kind of like, this civilization, this planet's never going to invent electricity because they're going to be like, oh, we tried that, but it just blows everything up. And it's like, you guys don't have to shoot lightning in order to get electricity. Anyway, Navani is at this point directly hunting anti-light because she believes that was what was in Gavilars' sphere. But she's trying to keep it from Raboniel, that's what she thinks exists. And that's what, you know, she's trying to reverse the polarity of the light using the lightning, all this other kind of thing. It's a great chapter. I really like this chapter. And we end it with Raboniel like brings in some singers, but like not just some singers with a capital S, but like singers. And they like sing her a song. And the singers sing her a song about, I can't remember what it was about. It's not like about anything, but it's kind of like as a celebration, it's like a gift to her. And she then gives, it's a gift from Raboniel to Navani. And then at the end, she then gives Navani a title, which is the Voice of Lights. Yeah. Yeah. Because she's earned her respect. Yeah. So yeah, I love the Navani Raboniel dynamic. It's a good dynamic.
I did like it.
Uh-oh. And then
sibling be dying. Because Raboniel is not looking to kill the sibling, she's looking to unmake the sibling.
Yes, she's turning the sibling into an unmade.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because I want to talk about this now. Because where the unmade came from is interesting to me. They were made and then they were unmade. I think that there was... Right now we have the large bondsmith span, right? We've got the Stormfather, the Night Watcher, and the sibling. The Stormfather always existed, because the storm always existed. The sibling, I guess, used to be the mountain? Or was created by Honor and Cultivation once they created the tower. And the Night Watcher is specifically said to have been created by Cultivation. They refer to the Unmade as their cousins. I think the Unmade were other large spren that existed elsewhere on Roshar. Other massive spren that... I don't like the term God spren, but let's just use the word God spren. And when Odium came to Roshar, he unmade those massive spren and became the 9 Unmade. And that's why he can then... Raboniel is trying to turn the sibling into another Unmade.
I think that the Unmade were bondsmith spren. Hang on. Odium obviously does not like the bondsmiths, and that's why there's only 3 bondsmith spren now.
Yeah.
I think it's because he personally set out to try and unmake them all.
I think
And I think that's why they're trying to unmake the siblings so badly.
It's to take out another bondsmith.
Yeah,
you know.
before she decides to bond with somebody else.
Yeah.
Because bondsmiths are dangerous.
Yes. I half agree. I believe that he unmade the Spren before the Knights Radiant existed. I think if he hadn't have unmade these Spren, they would have become bondsmith Spren. If he hadn't have unmade them. But he unmade them before bondsmiths even became a thing. Is my theory. We don't know the timeline of when the Unmade were created.
But well, there we go. Maybe it was after one.
It might have been after, yeah. It might have been after the Radiance came about. But yeah, I think that's my current theory that about the Unmade, about where they came from.
That's
I used to think the Unmade were Dawn Shard. Well, sorry, I used to think the Unmade were Dawn Shards, but that's not true. That is you haven't read Dawn Shard, but I'm quite happy to confirm that Unmade are not Dawn Shards.
I never thought they were. So
exactly,
fine.
That's why I'm fine telling you.
Yeah, because that's dumb.
God, there was so much evidence behind it. There was so much evidence behind it, Lucy.
Oh my god, if Hoyd's not a dog, then you can't have this one. Right. So then we get to the second day of Adeline's trial, and it's his day to speak.
Yes.
So he is trying to present his statement that he has prepared. And whilst he's doing this, somebody keeps heckling him. And somebody keeps shouting out, like, whether he knew of Dalinar, or whether he knew of Dalinar almost killing the Stormfather. And can we trust the new Radiance? And Adeline accidentally answers these questions.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole idea is that you're not supposed to answer a question, because if you answer questions, it leads you
to talk what they wanted you to talk about.
Yeah, then you have to answer all the questions. Whereas if he hadn't answered any, their questions were null and void.
Yeah.
Whereas because he slipped up, he now has to answer the question. So he does. And then he's like, look, you're clearly trying to get something out of me. Just do it. Just whatever you're here for, just go ahead. And that is when they bring out the new Dead Eyes pattern that was created only a few years ago. And they asked if he knew about it. And he said yes, but that couldn't have been from a Radiant. It must have been somebody just killing a Spren as they do.
Stabby stab.
At which point he's then told that that's not how it works, and that you couldn't have Dead Eyes'd it from doing that. It had to have been bonded to a Radiant in order to have become a Dead Eyes. At that point, he then accepts that. And by accepting that, it's now kind of accepted that if you guys bond with us, we're going to kill you again. So now they don't want him, and he's clearly now lost his second day.
Yeah.
So he then goes and is consoled in bed by Shallan. They're both just lying naked on top of each other. Completely innocent, I'm sure.
Oh, yes. No, they're a married couple now. Brandon's giving them the seal of approval to...
So now they're now allowed to be naked together, which is nice.
Yeah.
She's got her safe hand out and everything. I know.
Wow.
I know. It is extreme. So they're talking, and he tells her that he loves her and how amazing she is. And she's like, no, I'm not. Like, I'm just not. And he's like, no, you are. I love you. I don't, I'm not here for Vale or Radiant or any of your others.
Yeah.
I'm here for you. I love you, Shallan. And she's like, no, you wouldn't. You wouldn't love me if you knew me.
You knew, yeah.
Because Shallan is not real. And then she says, well, it's not too late. Maybe the judge might save you. Because, who knows who the judge is going to be.
Yeah. The next chapter after this one is a short Teft one, where Teft is... It's nice getting a little Teft chapter. This is like what Interludes used to be before Interludes became what they are now. It's like those little chapters from the point of view of other characters.
Yeah.
And Teft kind of realizes that he's worth saving, and he was very much down on his luck, but he's like, no, let's save some people, goddammit. So they plan on, this is Kaladin, Lift, Teft, Dabbid. is relaying with them. I can't remember if Relaying's with them. They're planning how to save the tower, and so the plan is get Lift to the Radiant room, wake the Radiants up, throw them off the tower to try and see if they
stick.
Hope their power. That's legit. Is hope their powers return before they hit the ground.
Baby bird them all.
Baby bird them all, and and just kind of go from there. And that's their plan.
I believe it's to use the sleeping windrunners to adhere themselves to walk down the tower, carrying the ones that can't do that.
Maybe, yes.
In the hopes that they're going to be recovered enough to do that before the fuse notice that something's going on.
Okay, cool. I thought they were throwing themselves off the tower. Never mind. I thought they were just throwing these half-unconscious people off the tower and hoping for the best.
Just hoping that once they get out of the clouds, they'll be fine. Yeah,
it's like, what about the Windrunners? What about the Lightweavers and the Stonewoods and the Edge Dancers? Like, nah.
We don't need them.
Just throw them as well.
They're unnamed.
No, I think Gadeki's with them. I think Gadeki's there. Wait, no, Gadeki's. What am I on? Gadeki's with the Shallan group. What am I on about? Gadeki.
Who?
When Shallan and Gadeki is in in part 1, he's in the manor house. He's the Edge Dancer that the Pursuer threatens. Then he's with the Shallan and Adeline group, with Zoo and Stump, and then the next chapter is a big Venli one. This is the one where Venli tells Raboniel about the people that survived. She learnt that the people survived. No, sorry, Raboniel tells Venli. Yeah, sorry. This is the one where Raboniel is like, Venli, you've served me really well, even though you've been spying on me and reporting to Leshri all the time. But we've...
By the way, here's something you can report for me.
Here's something you report for me. Your people survived. There is a massive group of listeners just roaming the plains, like doing their own thing, and it seems like it's your people.
They seem to have found a safe hold.
Yes, they found like a safe hold to the east of the plains, because the east of the plains is a lot more broken than the west. They've found like a safe place, and they're living there, and you're relieved of your duties. And I believe she gives her a writ of notice saying, here, you just give this to anyone. This tells them that I've given you permission to go and join your people. Like,
no, I've given you permission to take leave.
Yeah.
And if you survive this upcoming event, then good luck to you.
Yes.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
So essentially she can get through an oath gate without being questioned.
Yeah, she just holds up this piece of paper.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really like Raboniel. Raboniel's great. More Raboniel. Raboniel's great.
Yeah, you say so. So then we go back to Shadesmar.
Yes, we do.
Formless has taken control. Essentially, Shallan, Vale, and Radiant decided they weren't going to kill Kadek. Yeah. They were just going to sort of let events play out, and they weren't going to interfere.
Yeah.
Formless was not okay with this.
Formless takes umbrage with this.
Formless is now taken control and is going to go and kill Kalek. As she's leaving as Formless, Adeline talks to her and he's like, something's not right, can I just talk to Shallan, please?
Yes.
And she was like, I am Shallan. Yeah. He's like, no, but I love you. Like, I really love you.
Yeah.
Like, you're perfect, you're wonderful, just...
Adeline's a very patient
love you, Shallan. Adeline is, like, so good. He's such a good boy. She leaves and Patton tries to stop her. And she's like, just go away, Patton.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, please, Shallan, don't do this.
Yeah.
Like, stay here, be safe. She's like, just go away, Patton. And I can't remember if it was him or Adeline, but they essentially say to her, you know, like, who's stronger, the sailor who drowns or the man who's never stepped foot in water?
Yes.
I can't remember which one it was, but it was really cute. And then Patton tells her, I think it was Patton, because Patton's still talking to Wit in the background.
Yeah.
And she's like, I told you not to
stop talking to him, yeah.
And he's like, but he wants to help and so do I. So we're just trying to help. And she's like, just stay here. I will deal with you when I get back.
Mm-hmm.
And so Formless storms off to go and get to Kadek. She uses the stormlight that she's now got to disguise herself as one of the Honest Spren, like the important Honest Spren. So she arrives at Kadek's place, and Vale comes out to her, like, physically.
Like, appears, yeah.
And she's like, Shallan, you don't need me anymore. Like, I've always just been your Vale.
Yeah.
Like, accept what happened in the past. And so she finally does. She accepts that she killed her old pattern.
Yeah, and I love this scene.
Yeah.
And, like, the whole room turns into the garden.
Yeah.
And it talks about how, like, Shallan and her Spren were, like, this childish innocence of not knowing what they're doing.
And she accidentally
and she accidentally killed her Spren.
And she doesn't need Vale anymore, so Vale poofs away. Vale is done.
Mm-hmm.
And Radiant's like, yo, I'm the one that killed Illatil.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to protect you from that.
Even though Shallan has killed way more people than anyone else.
Yeah.
And she's like, but I'm sticking about because you still need me.
You've got one last truth to uncover.
So, oh boy.
And I'm protecting you from that. And it's like...
What is she still hiding?
What? This is also where it's revealed that Formless... Okay, we massively disagree on the interpretation of what happened in the scene with Formless. Do you want to give your interpretation first?
You
then
give
I'll give
yours.
Okay, I'll go first. So, the interpretation I got was Vale said that Formless is just Shallan pretending to be someone else. Not in a becoming a different persona, but Shallan wanted there to be another persona that she could, like, be a murderer in, or, like, that she's thing, but really it wasn't an actual persona. Formless was never an actual persona. Formless was just Shallan pretending to not be Shallan so that she could do things that she didn't think she could do, but she could because she was doing them. Yeah. Like, for me, I would say Formless never existed. Formless was just Shallan pretending to be a different person, as opposed to Radiant and Vale, who were different personas that she switched into.
Whereas I think that Formless is the real Shallan.
Yes.
And Shallan, Vale, and Radiant were all personas that Formless created to try and hide herself in.
Yeah.
So after she killed her mum, she created Shallan as Shallan should be, like nice Shallan who's well behaved, who doesn't hurt anyone. So that's the persona that she created, and then as she needed more personas, she created more personas.
Yes. And I think this is to do with, I think this comes from the fact that I really don't like the Shallan is just a persona theory.
Yeah.
I think Shallan that we've known, because the Shallan that exists now is no different to me than the Shallan that was in Way of Kings before she started becoming a Lightweaver and creating personas. And
so that's because she already was a persona.
But you think that's because you already was a persona? Well, I'm saying no, that is Shallan, who Shallan is as a person. Like,
yeah.
I don't know, if you pretend to be someone for like 10 years, you're just that person. Like,
yeah,
that's just who you are then. You're just that person because you've been that person for 10 years. So, yeah. Anyway, so yes. So then Formless is gone because Formless never existed. And then Vale's gone. Good riddance.
So then she goes into Kadek's room and he's like, I was expecting this to happen. And she puts the knife down on the table and she's like, mate, I'm not gonna kill you. Here's the dagger, it's yours. And she's like, look, I'm here for information. I'm not doing this on behalf of anyone. I am me. I'm here for my own reasons. Let's swap information because you've got information that can help us. And just before they can trade information, the Honest Spren arrive and they accuse them of being in cahoots and colluding with each other. So they both get arrested.
Yes, they arrest both Shallan and Kalak, yeah.
Yes. So Adeline turns up for day 3 of his trial. And he's late because he didn't want to get there early like he did the day before. He walks in and everyone's there. He looks up at the judge's seat and it's not Kadek sitting there. Nope. It's Sakir?
Sakir? Yeah, that sounds all right. The guy in charge of the Honest Spren.
Sekeier, Sakir. He's now in charge of the trial. He doesn't like humans. he doesn't want them bonded again.
Mm-hmm.
So this is going to go really, really well for him. He calls the last witness to the stand, and it's Maya.
Yeah.
She's brought in. She's really confused. Adeline can see that she's confused
Suffering.
and upset.
Yeah.
She's not suffering yet.
Oh, not yet. Sorry.
And he is like, yo, she doesn't need to be here. This isn't good for her. It's busy. It's noisy. It's crowded. Just take her out.
Yeah.
Like, just get her out.
Hmm.
And then she starts trying to escape, so they start holding her down.
Yeah.
And she starts panicking, and she starts becoming distressed,
Yeah.
which is making him distressed. And he's like, no, just take her out.
Yeah.
I will accept it. Just don't do anything to hurt her. Please,
Yeah.
just let her go. And she starts screaming, and he starts panicking even more.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, just let her go. And then the screaming turns to a voice, and Circia says that he's speaking on her behalf because she can't
Yes.
talk.
Yeah.
And so she's like, no, I speak for me. We chose this.
We chose. We chose.
You cannot have my sacrifice.
Yes.
Strength before weakness.
Yeah. This is.
Oh, it's such a good scene.
This is.
Oh
so
my
good.
goodness. I really was hoping that Maya would talk by the end of the book.
Yeah.
But I was expecting like 1 or 2 words. I was not expecting this. I lost it.
Yeah.
I came down because you were filming a podcast at the time.
Yes. We were filming a podcast.
I was in tears. I couldn't be alone. I had to come and find you immediately.
We had to pause that podcast because we were about to
it was
talk
a
about
lot.
some stuff in part 5. Just Lucy was coming down being like, Maya's trial! And I'm like, okay guys, I need to pause.
It was so good. Oh, it was such a lovely moment.
Yeah.
But essentially, he's now won and he's free because the Deadeyes have come out and said that they chose this. They wanted this.
Yeah.
At which point the humans did nothing wrong. They just agreed. So the humans are now off the hook, and Honestbren are now free to come and bond again.
Yep.
And Maya says strength before weakness.
Yeah.
And so...
Yeah. It's very good.
Well, the thing is, like,
Yeah.
again, just like with the new Radiance that we have, I think that if he bonds with her,
It's going to be something new.
it's going to be something new. She's not going to be an edge dancer like she used to be.
Yeah. Or like he's not going to be an edge dancer.
No. Like, it's going to be something new.
Yeah.
Because she's not going to fully heal.
Yeah.
Like, there's always going to be something a bit different about her, and I think that difference will create a new type of bond.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited for it.
Yes.
And I really hope it does happen. And she's talking.
Yeah.
It's so cute.
It's very, very... It's so good. You were really hoping this would happen, didn't you?
I was really hoping this would happen. It made my day that it did. And I'm really hoping that when he goes back into the physical realm, she comes with him this time.
Ooh, and she's a little cultivation spren along the ground, like Wendell is.
Kind of. Like,
Yeah.
I think that he's either going to have a little flower in his pocket or something that's her.
That would be adorable.
Where, like, she's now able to manifest in the physical realm, but not
Not fully, like a...
not in a functioning way like the others. She's just sort of there with him.
Yeah.
Or like his blade can now change.
Ooh, yeah,
Like
a little step on the path.
yeah. I don't think that she's going to come back all like guns blazing,
Nah.
talking, being
Yeah.
herself. But it would be nice if she can now manifest.
That was something I really liked about this, was where he didn't just wake Maya up and she's fine now. It's
Yeah.
like she said her piece, but she's still a Deadeyes.
Yeah.
And like, yeah,
And she's
still got a long way to go.
yeah. It was just really good.
It was
I
very
love
good.
Maya so much,
Yes.
and I'm so happy. So yeah.
Ooh, this is also...
we can finish there. Nothing else happens in this chapter.
Nothing else of importance. This was very, as a quick aside, this also was the chapter where it revealed that they didn't know, the Spren didn't know that breaking their oaths would cause them to become Deadeyes. They knew it would hurt, because they've seen it before,
Yeah.
but there was no Deadeyes until Ba'ed Mishram was captured.
Yeah.
And that created a wound on Roshar, which affected everything.
Yeah.
So Ba'ed Mishram... It's another reason why I think that these Unmade was big Spren that were important to Roshar.
Yeah, Bondsmith's friend.
Yeah, my current theory is that my current theory, which could change any day, because like it's the super loose theory, is that Bide Emission was the Spren of Spren. So like
the Spren of Spren.
Yeah, the Spren of Spren. So like you've got the Spren are the Spren of an idea. So it's the Spren of the Storm, the Spren of the Stone, the Spren of Wind. Bide Emission was the Spren of the idea of Spren.
That does work.
And that's why she was connected to everything. And so that's my current theory.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, Ink Spren lady.
Yes, blended.
Blender then tells Adeline that she now needs to rethink everything her and her people believe.
Yeah.
And she's now going to have to go and talk to the Ink Spren about...
maybe getting a couple more
about
callers.
the events that have just occurred. So, oh boy, more else callers.
Yes.
That's going to be cool.
That is. Else callers is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that chapter over.
Oh, wait. Are else callers cool, or is Yasna cool?
Yasna.
I think it's Yasna's cool, which makes us think else callers cool. Yeah. But maybe not all else callers are going to be as cool as Yasna. That's the
they're not going to be as hot as her, so
it
doesn't really count at that point.
Yeah. That is the main metric for which I measure how important radiants are.
On the coolness scale.
On the coolness scale. How hot are they? Okay, I'm just going to cut all that. Stop.
Yeah, that's right.
So this next chapter is a Venli chapter. We get a short bit at the beginning where she's remembering being in the Battle of Narak, where the Everstorm and the High Storm are fighting, and it's all lightning, and there's people, and Venli's not a soldier, so she's just like running around the battle being like, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know what's going on, and she actually sees Eshenoi fall into the chasm when she fell. She was fine. Nothing bad happened after that. And she just talked about how she felt so weak and useless, and like she realized she was so in over her head, because she's like, I'm not leading this charge, I'm not the one doing this, I'm just another pawn, like I'm just a scared girl hiding behind a rock as these storms rage, as gods fight above. Like, you know, as she's realizing the truth, in my opinion. And we go back to modern times where she finally like breaks down, and like the guilt of what happened at Narok kind of makes her finally admit to Relaine, hey, here's everything that happened. I did all of this stuff. Relaine is like furious at her and is like obviously extremely upset, but they agree that they need to go back to their people. And so their plan is she then tells
he tells her that if she goes back now, the Fused are going to follow and kill them all.
Yes, sorry, yeah.
And this is clearly a trap that she should not be falling for.
Yes. And so the plan is to use the humans escaping, because obviously Relaine knows about the plan, use that as a distraction for her, Venli and her group to escape and reach...
Relaine's not part of that group.
No, but that's what I'm saying, is Relaine tells Venli about the Radiant plan, and so Venli then plans with her group to run away and use that as a distraction.
Sorry, you made it sound like...
Relaine was...
Yeah.
No, Relaine's not going with them.
No.
But,
he's a good boy.
He's a good boy. He's going to stay with the Stormblast.
He's going to bond the tower. Be the new bondsmith.
You reckon he's going to be the new bondsmith?
Yeah, the bondsmith.
The bondsmith. So then, after that, we then get a Navani point of view. And Navani, using a vacuum tube, she divorces void light from the world around it, so it can't hear the rhythms anymore. And she makes it so that the first thing it hears when it is brought back into the world is an anti-Odium rhythm. So this is a destructive interference kind of wavelength, which sounds exactly the same as the void light rhythm, but is slightly different because it's pitched slightly differently. Music! This isn't how things work, but there's intent in there. You add intent into things, you say the word intent, and things become magic, and it's okay. So she finally creates anti-void light, which they test, and it does, when you put the anti-void light with the void light, it creates a small explosion. Because it destroys the investiture. It's also it warps the light when it's in a gem, confirming that it was in Gavilar's gem. And Brandon is a big liar because he said we should know what was in Gavilar's gem, and there is no way anyone could have guessed it was anti-void light. Like, that's just Brandon.
I feel like if you'd given me a couple of days and just told me to make it up, I could have eventually.
You actually could have got there in the end. Okay. And then so Raboniel gets the gem full of anti-void light, puts it in the dagger, twists the dagger so it's going out instead of into the gem, and she stabs her daughter.
Yeah.
She kills her daughter, and she uses that anti-void light to finally free her daughter from this hell of being a fused. And it's such... love this moment. This is so good. This is such a good moment. Like, this is what Raboniel, yes, she's wanted to end the war, but she's wanted to end the war so that her daughter could stop having to take part in it. And so that she can, I assume she eventually she could stop taking part in it.
Oh no, because she's back now. If they kill all the Radiant, she doesn't have to be at war and she gets to live.
Oh, yeah.
Because she mentally is still quite capable.
She's quite happy there, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Navani's like, haha, I did it. I found a way to kill Fused. I'm awesome. Yay, me. And then Raboniel's like, cool, thanks for this research, and takes it away. And is like, oh no, I've just given them the way to kill Spren.
Yeah.
And like... She
Well, no. She comes out and says it. She's like, perfect. Now I can kill all those Radiant Spren and they'll stop forming. And then this war can be over.
Yeah.
And Navani's like, I thought you were going to kill Odium. And she was like, oh, no.
No, honey. No, honey.
I'm killing you.
Yeah. Like, the point she makes about how fused are these eternal souls that take over people, give them powers, and Spren are these eternal souls which bond with humans and give them powers, which means this war just keeps going on because none of the actual combatants can die because she doesn't see.
Yeah.
She sees the humans and the singers as disposable for the Spren and the thing. And like, now we can kill Spren and you can kill Fused because she lets her keep the anti-void light research, and she's like, yeah, cool. We can now end this war. We can now kill each other again. Like.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah.
So it's interesting, isn't it?
Good job, Navani. Well done. Voice of Lights over here. Oh yeah, and that's where we leave part 4 on that lovely note. Isn't that nice?
Yeah. It's so cheerful. So happy.
Yeah. Well, they can all finally kill each other. It's great.
Yeah.
Shall we do some interludes?
Yeah. Okay. The first interlude is Hasina, who is she's studying the maps of Roshar to try and work out if the place that she's from, where her family lives, like whether her dad could still be alive or whether he would have been destroyed by the war.
Yeah.
Lirin is like, well, why would you care? He was such a horrible man.
Yeah.
And so they're having a big kind of, I wouldn't say argument, but they're having a heated debate.
It's one of those things, where I don't know if you're aware of these, but sometimes married couples have these sensitive subjects where they don't necessarily argue, but they have words that they say to each other forcefully and emotionally.
Like shoe.
And so yeah, I feel like this is ground that's been walked a few times.
Yeah, this is one of those old arguments that keeps getting brought up, I imagine.
Yes, yeah.
And she's like, yeah, he was a strict man, but look at what you're currently doing.
Yes.
You've kicked our son out for no reason, and you keep trying to, like, cut yourself off from him. She's like, you've just got to start being nice to Kaladin, please, because Kaladin is, like, all we've got left. Even though we've got another one, but and, stop seeing Kaladin as this horrible monster. He's a good man. Like, look at what he's become. He's a good person. And she tells him to stop blaming himself for Tian's death. Yeah. Because it seems like Kaladin blames himself, and so does Lirin. It's quite a sweet little...
Like father, like son.
Yeah. And, don't lose another son because of your pride. And then Lirin kind of goes out to get away from her. Yeah. Don't know why.
He's just going for a nice little walk to clear his head,
And he meets Noril? Norris?
Oh, Norrell, I think, yeah. I think it's Norrell.
Let's go with Norrell.
Yeah.
Like, why not?
Yeah.
Who's got a sash brand,
yeah.
on his forehead, and Lyran's like, why are you wearing that? They're gonna kill you. Like, it's stupid to idolize that man. And he's like, Stormblessed keeps fighting, and so will I.
Yeah.
Because Norrell is one of the men that Kaladin was helping.
Yeah.
And he's like, he helped me, he saved me. He's a fighter, he's a good man. I'm gonna keep fighting with him.
Yeah.
And it was really cute.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was quite a sweet little interlude.
Yeah, it's kind of like how people see Kaladin. And like, it was nice just seeing Hesina and Liran as well. We don't get enough scenes of just them being together, and it's like, okay, yes, they argue, but they are still, you can tell they love each other. There's still like, there's still stuff going on there.
Yeah, they're sweet together.
They are.
And the second one is Aiden, who is a 13-year-old boy who desperately wants to become a Radiant.
Yeah.
He's like, other children have, so it's not long now until I get to become a Windrunner.
Yeah.
And I can go and help be a Windrunner.
Yeah.
And he's working with his dad as a potter, I think it is.
Yeah.
There's a big old commotion over, I think it's near where the Radiants are.
Yes.
Wonder what this could be. And his dad's like, right, you stay here, I'm going to go and check it out. And he's like, well, if you leave me alone, what if the market becomes overrun? Like, it's not going to be safe for me here. It's not going to be safe for me with you. Like, nowhere's safe. So his dad agrees to let him go with him. So he grabs his spear that he keeps by the door, and he's like, today I'm going to become a Radiant.
Yeah.
It's really cute.
He is cute.
Yeah, I hope this isn't a one-off character. I hope that he is someone. I don't think he'll become a Radiant, though.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'd say, I think, I'll let you finish part 5, and then we'll talk.
I think he's going to become one of the anti-Radiants.
Ooh, a Void Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice, nice.
So I think that would be pretty cool.
That'd be cool.
The
final interlude is the final Taravangian interlude, and this one is where Taravangian is dumb as bricks. He is having a dumb day, and Ciara not appears to him, is all like, hey Taravangian, I know you sent for me because I'm part of your plans. Taravangian's like, I have no idea what you're on about, weird lady in the mirror. And he's like, here's 2 Void Spren, crack these gems and they'll escape, and this will draw Odium to you because this will draw his attention. So if you want Odium, because that's in your plan, he's like, is it? Because he's dumb.
I think I know what his plan is, though.
Cool. And then Odium will come join you. And he's like, okay, cool, thanks, lady in the mirror. I don't know what's going on because I'm dumb.
So, I think his plan is to kill Odium using Nightblood. I think that he is expecting Sev to give Nightblood to Dalinar so that Odium doesn't know where it is.
Yeah.
And for him to summon Odium to him when Dalinar's got Nightblood, and for Dalinar to stab Odium with Nightblood. And I think that's what he needs a corrupted Sprem for, to obviously get Odium's attention. And I think that's his current plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good
Just
good
from
thing.
what he said so far.
Yeah.
This interlude also really, really irritates me.
Okay.
I really hate interludes going to characters that are point of view characters in chapters.
Yes.
Because I just think that this is a waste of an interlude when we could have had someone that we haven't.
Because you
like,
turn
we could
the
have got
page
some
off.
more Risen.
Yeah.
Or we could have got like a random like Radiant somewhere. Just, or you know, we could have got some more Axis to the Collector.
Yeah. There's Axis the Collector.
Thank you.
Yeah,
because giving it to someone who, when you turn the page,
he's on the list of characters who get chapters in that part. Yeah.
Also, I'm not looking forward to part 5. I think that's why I haven't started it.
Okay.
Well, part 5, you've got the point of view of Taravangian, which...
Yeah, as you said, is no issue because he's got all the interludes, so why does he get chapters in parts as well? Yeah.
You've also got fucking Moash, so I'm going to have to sit through that wonderful, wonderful chapter. And you've also got the Pursuer, who, like...
Do you pursue? I don't even remember getting a Pursuer point of view.
I'm sure...
Now I do, never mind.
Yeah, I'm sure he's on the list of characters.
Yeah.
At which point there's a lot. Like, I'm going from part 4, which had Navani, it had Shallan, it had Adeline, it had all the characters that I enjoy getting points of view from.
Yeah.
To now all the ones that I hate.
Yes. I mean, you still get Navani, Shallan, Kaladin, you know, get Daggers. Oh, wait, no, isn't it just the Radiance?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the Radiance.
But, like, I don't want Moash and Taravangian in the same part because they're both boring as anything, and having to sit through either of them is a
I'm
pain.
So interested in how you're going to feel about part 5. So, that is the end of part 4 and the interludes. I hope you guys enjoyed. You need to get on part 5 so that we can do part 5 next week. And we will see you guys. Oh wait, no, I need to do all the outro stuff. Follow us on 17shard.com. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Pass us Spren through the mirror. Join us on Discord, where I'm Overlord Jeebus and this one's Empress. I'm
Please
outing
don't
you.
tell people that.
I'm going to keep outing you until so everyone
stop.
knows who you are. We have a Patreon where you can provide funds for the 17th Shard mega corporation that we're establishing.
Conglomerate.
The conglomerate. And also you get these videos early, as well as helping our world domination. And then, yeah, that's everything. I hope you guys had a wonderful time. We did. We're recording. We've got a set now. Woo!
Thanks to me.
Thanks to Lucy. Bye!